All right, everybody. I know y'all saw the photo op today from the White House. Let's talk about it.
See, the game is lame and absurd, but you spit. You need to sit back and observe a certified pimp. So oh yes he is. I mean that boy does the shit. So mess he is. Fresh to death. Ain't nobody fresh as he is. They can't compare or get next to him because he's so fly. I mean the boy's so clean. From his white tee home down to those jeans. You see the ice in the pinky.
All right, this is an emergency broadcast tonight because we just have to talk about what went on at the White House today. It was crazy. I can't believe, I really can't believe what we witnessed today. It was so ridiculous. President Trump and President Zelensky of Ukraine had gotten together for a photo op prior to their scheduled meeting regarding signing of a deal for their mineral rights. And to say it went left fast is an understatement. All right, let's get into it right away.
He broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what?
Now, check it out. I'm a veteran, okay? And I served a long time ago, mostly during peacetime, but we got into the Gulf War right at the end of my service. And let me tell you something. Recruitment is tough when they know you're about to go to war. Believe that. And I don't care what country you are. It is hard to get people to join up to possibly get killed. So Zelensky was right. He says everybody has trouble in wartime getting people. But I thought it was interesting. Zelensky said, have you ever been to Ukraine to see what's happening? Because J.D. Vance claims that everybody that goes to Ukraine gets the propaganda tour. What propaganda? They are being attacked by Russia, at one time thought to be one of the most powerful militaries on the planet. They're defending themselves from invaders. Just listen, it gets worse.
Problems we have.
I have been to.
Count one.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree?
He watched and seen stories, but his ass has never been there. He's never been to Ukraine to see what's really going on.
That you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean. And
now, hear what he said? He says, we have nice oceans. Let me explain something to you. Part of why the U.S. has never been invaded by a foreign country, well, not since the Revolutionary War, is because of the oceans. We have the Atlantic Ocean on the East Coast, We have the Gulf of Mexico on the southern coast, and we have the Pacific Ocean on the west coast. We are the only country on the planet with what's called a blue water navy, meaning we're the only country with a navy that can literally go globally. No other country has the ability to transport troops, equipment, and literally bring the fight to anywhere on the globe like the United States. We are the only ones that can do that. We can move more men and equipment in a matter of hours than any other country on the planet. And our oceans is what protects us from being invaded by foreign enemies.
Don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God.
And he's right. If we don't stop Russia now, later, Russia's going to be a problem. This is the very same scenario that happened in World War II, when nobody thought Hitler was going to move across Europe. And then next thing you know, he had a blitzkrieg into Poland. And before you know it, Nazi Germany was damn near halfway across Europe before anybody decided to step in and try to stop them.
Bless,
you don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
And he's right. He wasn't telling anything. He was answering J.D. Vance's question to him. Unfortunately, Trump and J.D. didn't like the answer that they were getting. See, they wanted, basically what they wanted was Zelensky to come into the White House, kiss their ass, beg them for this, that, and the other, say, thank you, thank you, thank you, you're my Lords and Savior, thank you, thank you, thank you, and I'm going to give you all of our mineral rights because we are so blessed to have you providing us with some military support. Now, coming soon to an ear near you for lies, and more lies from Trump and J.D. Vance. Just listen.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the
the
cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
And on this part, Trump is right. Ukraine needs support, not just from the United States, but from their biggest supporters, Europe. And that's where the lies about to come in. Listen.
Right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you think
You're
about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
Yeah.
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire
to
meeting.
Now, President Zelensky has been overwhelmingly grateful for U.S. support, for U.S. and European support since the beginning of this war, ever since Russia fully invaded Ukraine. Now, back in 2014, during the Obama administration, Russia took Crimea. And it was a big mistake back then on President Obama's part that the United States did not step in then with more force and more aggression to send the Russians back across the border to their own land. And I personally think we should have been way more aggressive then at that time. But Obama chose not to. He didn't want to get us into a shooting war with Russia. I understand that too. But, sometimes, when you're getting bullied, you got to slap the shit out of a motherfucker. And you might have to stand and fight his dumb ass. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And let the chips fall where they may.
You said thank you. You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October.
Now, that was a lie. He did not campaign in Pennsylvania for the opposition. Zelensky was in Pennsylvania at that time to go visit a weapons plant that was building ammunition and other military goods that were going to be sent not only to Ukraine, but also to replenish our stockpiles for what we had already sent to Ukraine. So it was serving a double purpose. A lot of people think that all we do is shovel money to Ukraine, and that's it. But that's not what it is.
Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Now, these motherfuckers got Zelensky in there specifically to ambush him today. They did this on purpose, trying to portray Trump as some kind of strong man, which he's not. He's a motherfucking draft dodging coward, which is why I can't for the life of me understand why any veteran supports Donald Trump. It's just beyond me how Donald Trump has the support of some veterans in this country. I feel like it's a disgrace to the uniform because Donald Trump has never served. Nobody in his entire bloodline has ever served. And when it was his turn to serve, he was a coward. Captain Bone Spurs, that's what we call him, because he did everything he could to get out of going to serve the country when he was called.
Yes, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait
answer?
a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
Now, here's where they start to berate President Zelensky as if he's some toddler or undisciplined little child.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone.
And Zelensky is right. They have never once asked for any sacrifices from us in terms of troops. The Ukrainians have been fighting all alone, only their people. And they've been dying in big numbers. And Russians have been dying in big numbers too, which is crazy because Russia should have been able to overwhelm Ukraine very quickly. But here we are now going into the 4th year, and Russia still hasn't taken Ukraine.
And we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
allowed.
cabinet.
You haven't been allowed.
In this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
Now, that's the next lie. We have not put in $350 billion. In fact, the total of expenditures for Ukraine from beginning to date is $186 billion. And that was a combination of money and military equipment, ammunition mostly, M1 tanks, most recently F-16s, Abrams fighting vehicles. I mean, not Abrams, but Bradley fighting vehicles, and so forth and so on. A lot of bullets, a whole lot of bullets. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Europe, in dollar value, has donated or has contributed more than the United States. That's a fact. Look it up. Do the research. It's fully documented. And if you can fucking read, you will see that the United States has not been the biggest contributor. We've been the biggest single contributor, but Europe combined has contributed considerably more than I think it's about 14% more all in all. And that's a lot. That really is a lot. So Europe is holding up their end of the bargain. The problem now is that Trump is an agent for Putin. Putin is sitting at the Kremlin right now, cheesing from ear to ear. The Chinese are looking and they're saying, wow, we're going to make our move. We're going to bust a move on Taiwan real soon, because they both know that Donald Trump isn't going to do anything to support Ukraine and support NATO. Trump's not going to support NATO whatsoever. So right now, Putin knows he can just run across Europe with no opposition from the United States. And China, like I said, is getting ready to bust a move on Taiwan. You mark my word. And it's going to be too late before we're able to do anything about it.
Gave you military equipment, and you men are brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment, if you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
maybe
new.
Less.
In 2 weeks, of course.
Now the fact is, even with our military support, Russia should have been able to just walk across Ukraine, but they haven't. Like I said earlier, we're going into the 4th year, and Russia is losing just as many, if not more, people than the Ukrainians have. And see, that's Russia's real advantage, because they have so many more bodies to throw into the war. Ukraine does not. And so think about that. Think about Ukraine, this tiny little Western European country, holding their own against the great Russian bear. And for all of you out there, because there's a lot of Americans that think that Putin is not a bad guy. Listen, I served in the 80s. Back at that time, Vladimir Putin was a KGB agent. He was a KGB officer, as a matter of fact. And their only mission was to destroy us. And they played the long game, because they knew that militarily they couldn't stand up to us one-on-one. So they had to wait. And they had to wait, and they had to be patient and wait until the time was right to where they could infiltrate us from the inside out. And that's exactly what's happening now. You're witnessing the surrender of the United States to Vladimir Putin and the future Russian Empire. And if something's not done real soon, we're going to wake up one day speaking Russian. You think it's a joke? Listen, don't sleep on it. This is no bullshit.
Yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of
except
times
except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me.
For you what,
that
what
wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
Oh my God. This was probably the most embarrassing thing that Trump has done to date in regards to our national image and in regards to our relationships with our soon-to-be ex-allies, because that's what they're going to be. When Trump gets done, we're going to be out in this world butt-ass naked with no friends. And that's exactly what Putin and China wants. They want to separate the United States from its allies so that they can conquer the rest of the world around us. And then when it's all said and done, it's just going to be the U.S., Russia, China, and all of their little minions around them. And we're going to be here all by our damn selves. And here in Fortress America, and let me tell you something, we're going to be fucked up. We're going to be fucked up in the worst way. Y'all think it's a joke? You better pay attention to what's going on, because if we don't get rid of Trump in this administration, we are headed for the end of America as we know it. And that is no alarmist view. That is no liberal bullshit fake news view. That is real. If you think it's not, you sit around, you're going to fuck around and find out. I'm your man's Ken Jackson. This has been the Ken Jackson Experience Emergency Broadcast. I am out. Peace. Catch y'all Sunday night at 9 p.m.